with no fanfare whatsoever, WWE announced Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the WWE Championship at Wrestlemania, which of course led the question, okay, so what are we doing at Fastlane? They say, oh, well, Drew McIntyre is going to be wrestling Sheamus in a last man standing match. 3 weeks before WrestleMania? You're going to take the chance of injuring him 3 weeks before WrestleMania. Huh. Well, okay. All right. And then we see the rest of the card. We're going to go through the Fastlane card some other time. We're going to go through that later. In this video, though, we're going to talk about Lashley and Drew McIntyre. And there's a lot of people who don't like Drew. Let's talk about that first. Let's talk before we get into what actually happened on Raw. A lot of people don't like Drew now. A lot of people are on the Lashley train. I am a Lashley fan. I'm also a Drew McIntyre fan. But like I said, Drew McIntyre suffers from the everybody is Spider-Man writing style, where he goes out there and he starts making jokes. In the later part of the show, he comes out there trying to explain why he hasn't showered. Like, dude, we don't care. We really don't care. Like, he's like, you're probably asking me why I haven't showered. It's been 2 hours. Getting in touch with my Scottish heritage. Been saving a lot of money on shirts and pants. I'm like, what the? Come on, man. That's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to hear from the Scottish super warrior. I don't want to hear about your lack of shirts and pants. No, thank you, dude. They're not helping him. They're trying to make him relatable. They're trying to make him a likable guy. They really kind of make people go, ugh. He's John Cena. Again, Scottish version. That's what people get pissed off about. That's why people didn't like Roman Reigns. Everybody since John Cena, they had been writing them like John Cena. Even CM Punk, when he was the babyface for the hour, it was all jokes. Go back to watching the whole thing with him and Triple H and Kevin Nash. Jokes. They want their top guys to crack jokes. Everybody is fucking Spider-Man all of a sudden. Not everybody is The Rock. And that's really what it should be. But Spider-Man came first. So everybody is Spider-Man. But not everybody is The Rock. Not everybody needs to stand and do a goddamn stand-up comedy skit. We don't need that. We don't need it. And it's really hurting some of these guys. McIntyre should be an intense babyface who is serious about getting his revenge. That's all we really need. That's all we really need. That's not what we got. So a lot of people want McIntyre to lose. Okay. We'll talk about that some other time. On this show, however, we started the show with Raw. We started Raw with MVP and Lashley. Well, Lashley basically says he hasn't been handed anything. He got the title by destroying people, and he's going to destroy Drew McIntyre just like he destroys everyone else. Then The Miz came out, and The Miz is talking about, oh yeah, it's been great hanging out with the Almighty, but I feel like our rivalry is over, and he starts talking about how all the great rivalries in history needed a great match at WrestleMania. He's angling for a match at WrestleMania, which of course is nonsense and never going to happen. Then John Morrison. You look at John Morrison's hair, he looks like ODB. The trailer park trash RV riding wrestler from Impact Wrestling. That's how he looks by the head. It's sad. And it's fucking hilarious, by the way. His hairstyle is fucking hilarious. And it's hilarious. So then McIntyre comes out there. McIntyre starts talking about, oh yeah, how him and Lashley both were the hardest workers in the business, and they were hardest workers in their own. They were two guys who constantly got passed over. Then they both left, and they both scratched and clawed to get back. But the difference is that, he took the hard route. He went through the Royal Rumble and beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes, while Lashley took the easy route by helping The Miz get the title and then beating The Miz for it. And then MVP was trying to interrupt, and he's like, no. Lashley can speak for himself. And then, The Miz, piped in, and he told The Miz, look, I'm going to give you a chance to either, you can attack me from behind, and I'm going to destroy you, or you can run. And The Miz decided not to do either one of those things. So he told Bobby Lashley this is going to be a heavyweight clash for the ages, and called him a big bald bitch. Which, of course, upsets Lashley. MVP held him back. And then, of course, he ends up getting around MVP, and he ends up beating the shit out of McIntyre a little bit. And then Miz helped him. Miz joined in, and then that led almost immediately to Lashley kind of running off after Miz started getting his licks in on McIntyre. Lashley kind of took off. Then Sheamus attacked Lashley for reasons unknown, because what is his beef with Lashley? And then we get Sheamus's response to what his beef with Lashley is. He says he wants McIntyre 100% no excuses. And he wants to fight Lashley because he wants to Lashley. He wants to show, not show Lashley. He wants to show McIntyre what he will never be able to do at WrestleMania. Does that make sense? No. Even though I tripped over it, it still doesn't make any sense. Why does heel Lashley want to fight heel Sheamus? And they have a similar opponent. Okay? Sheamus gets nothing even if he wins. If he wins, he gets nothing. So what was the benefit of this? There was no benefit to it. He just had to have a main event. So they was kind of like, I don't know. Like, they keep booking Lashley like a babyface. Is he a babyface or is he a heel? Because if you put Lashley across the ring from Sheamus, people are going to say, I like Lashley. And then Lashley's the babyface. Why would you do that to Sheamus? Why would you do that to McIntyre? Why would you do that? Why would you put Sheamus, who is saying that he wants to beat McIntyre at 100%, right? That's what he said. It didn't occur to that thick-headed Irishman that you're about to go fight the champion 6 days before our last man standing match. You should probably want to go into that match 100%. Why is anybody wrestling anybody when the main event of WrestleMania is already set? Why risk the injuries? Why are they even having any contact? That you have to explain that to me. What is the purpose of these matches if they don't lead anywhere? I thought, and I think most smart people believed, that Lashley and McIntyre is going to be a number one contenders match. That the winner will get the title shot. They're just like, nope, they're going to fight for no reason. They're going to fight because they've been fighting. It's like, what? What? This made no sense. This made no sense. So then McIntyre crushes The Miz. Match was kind of too long, if we're being honest. McIntyre wins the match with the Hurt Lock after a Claymore. So he did use the Claymore, but then he actually used the Hurt Lock to get the win. Really bizarre stuff. That takes us to the main event of the show. The main event of the show is Lashley versus... Well, matter of fact, should we talk about The Miz while we're here? You want to talk about The Miz? Okay. So The Miz loses to Drew McIntyre. He's embarrassed. And he runs into Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And they're kind of laughing at him for losing the WWE Championship. And Bad Bunny, of course, won a Grammy over the weekend. And The Miz is like, okay, you won Grammys. You're the 24/7 champion. I was the WWE champion. But Damian Priest ain't never done nothing. Damian Priest ain't never done anything. And so he starts taking shots at Damian Priest. And so The Miz shows up. Miz, gets into Bad Bunny's face. Damian Priest gets in his face. Miz backs off, goes on about his business. Then R-Truth shows up. R-Truth shows up, tries to sneak attack Bad Bunny. He gets caught in the act, obviously. Then they talk it out. R-Truth has some gifts, some Stone Cold Steve Austin merchandise, which includes an Austin 316 custom belt, a limited edition custom belt. And he gives him all of this merchandise in exchange for the 24/7 title. So now R-Truth is the 24/7 champion again. Bad Bunny was never actually beaten for the title. Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. Nobody cares about that belt, so it doesn't matter. So then Damian Priest beats Jackson Ryker in a swift and painless match. And Elias jumped Damian Priest from behind. He was going to hit him with the guitar, and then Bad Bunny took it. Snatched the guitar from him. Elias scooped up Bad Bunny like he's going to body slam him, rather. Bad Bunny escapes punched Elias in the face. And then as Elias was about to tear Bad Bunny apart, they kind of fell back a little bit. Elias kind of ran away. John Morrison came out there, which distracted the Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, and The Miz hit Bad Bunny from behind with a guitar, which I actually liked. I loved that part. The cameras missed it because the camera was focused on John Morrison. How could WWE have be such an excellent, production company? They have so much awesome production that they continuously fuck stuff up like this. Like, you knew the guitar shot was coming. And The Miz didn't try to kill him. The Miz just banged him. It was a pretty good, solid shot, but it didn't destroy him. It hit him safely in the back. But I like this. I like that we just basically we're going straight into John Morrison and The Miz versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest for WrestleMania, which we already knew was going to happen. But they're starting to really kind of jumped head first into it. So I like that. Okay. Now let's get into Lashley versus Sheamus. Lashley versus Sheamus was badass. These two dudes were basically beating the hell out of each other. Sheamus lives to clobber and to be clobbered. Okay? That's what he does. He is one of the most underrated workers in the business. Period. So many people it's not going to be until Sheamus is done. Like, Sheamus is going to be one of those guys that in 10 years, people are going to be like, oh man, Sheamus was really good and y'all didn't like him. Kind of like how people are by, guys like Bobby Eaton and guys like Finley and William Regal. Like, at the time, you kind of like, okay, they're good, but, where's The Rock? Like, oh, he's okay, but we're all about that John Cena. That's how it's going to be in like 10, 15 years when Sheamus is gone. Everybody's going to be looking back at all the Sheamus's, him beating the hell out of people and people beating the hell out of him, matches with Big Show, matches with Mark Henry, Del Rio, Cena, this stuff with, matches with Orton, this stuff with McIntyre, this stuff with Lashley, and people are going to be like, damn, y'all lived through the golden age of Sheamus beating the shit out of people and people beating the shit out of Sheamus. And you didn't really appreciate it. I think that we need to take time, just a couple of seconds, to appreciate how awesome Sheamus has been. Sheamus is really good. Give that man his flowers while he's still around. But Lashley, of course, is the almighty. Lashley's killing it right now. So Lashley wins the match with a spear. Match was fantastic. Physical as all hell. Then the post-match, we get Lashley putting Sheamus in the Hurt Lock. And then McIntyre gets in the ring. So McIntyre, of course, breaks all this up. And he ends up hitting Lashley with a Claymore to end the show. And didn't need that. Didn't need that last part. Didn't need McIntyre to bump Lashley. Didn't need that. Okay, so we had a heel versus heel main event, which made no sense. Which only made Lashley more of a babyface. We got Drew McIntyre being cringe, which makes people not like him, which makes Lashley more of a babyface. So we're in this position where everything is going to be solid as far as, like, I'm okay with the WrestleMania match. I just don't like how they did it. I don't like how they just decided, okay, we're just going to tell you McIntyre versus Lashley is the match. And nobody has a problem with this. Sheamus didn't say, like, what about me? Like, why didn't I get it? Why can't I get a title match? Nobody else is questioning how McIntyre could just get a title match. Like, just, here, have it. It's the biggest match all year, and we're just going to give it to you. Oh, but he obviously should be the number one contender because he got screwed out of the title, right? It's like, no, not obviously. Some guys don't get rematches. Kofi Kingston never got a rematch. So some guys don't get rematches. So, like, you have to justify, at least could have had a general manager or something like that say, well, via winning the Elimination Chamber, we're going to give him a rematch. Or, again, put some stakes on the last man standing match. They didn't even do that. There's no stakes going into Fastlane. You can almost go into Fastlane and say nothing of substance is going to happen. At least not in that match. So you're going to watch a match that's just basically masturbation. You're going to do it and it's not really going to get you anywhere. Okay? Even though, you may climax, but it's not the same thing as if it had some stakes to it. There's no real weight to this thing. But I did like the match, the Lashley Sheamus match. I don't remember if they actually had a match before. So I was really involved with that, and that was really good. The Miz has been pretty good in his performances. He's pretty much given up his run for the title. So okay, now he's gonna go back to Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Okay, but this show felt like they were just stacking WrestleMania and just saying fuck Fastlane. Like, oh, we're gonna throw all of these matches on WrestleMania, and it's like Fastlane is in 6 days. Oh well, we'll figure it out when we get there. Like what? Because some of the stuff they put on WrestleMania is absolutely ridiculous. We're going to talk about that in other videos. But thank you guys for listening. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to send money, you can send it via the Cash App, which will be in the comment section below. Feel free to send me an email if you want to ask questions or whatever at mrslade84@gmail.com. Use the hashtag 3count commentaries. Make sure to upvote to help the algorithm. Appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, shine light. I know what that's like.